Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Everything Actually with me, your host, Ashley Fisher. Today's episode 26 is going to be New Jersey themed. I'm going to be going over a bunch of New Jersey slang, some that I know firsthand, other ones that I read that I thought were universal, so would love to get y'all's opinion on that. I was born and raised in Central Jersey in Middlesex County. And when I turned 17 and then went off to college at Florida State, I've stayed in Florida the entire time. Like I went home for some breaks and such, but graduated last May, moved to Florida. But I still identify as a Jersey girl. There was one person who I've literally talked to for like 5 years, thought I was born and raised in Florida, which I was like, want to know if y'all can see that being like, okay, no, she's definitely not from Florida. Because I had one of my teachers in high school used to say that I have a twang. She was like, it's not necessarily an accent, but you talk a certain way that like certain words you say a specific way that's a little different. Neither here nor there. This came up because, as I said, graduated college in Florida and then moved out here. I'm thinking about going back to Jersey. So, yeah, that inspired this. So, hopping right on into some slang, and then I'll go into my whole why I might be moving home, pros and cons of that, and such. But first, we're going to do the fun part of this. Oh, first I wanted to start. I don't know if you guys have seen, there's like I'll just say it, there's a saying. I'm going to say it just normally how I would say it, and then I'm going to do it with the accent. So it goes, I walk and talk and I live in New York. I like water and coffee. I told my daughter not to give the dog a cup of coffee. And what does she do? She gave the dog coffee. Now I got a dead dog, a dumb daughter, and no coffee. No coffee. Now with the accent. I walk and talk and I live in New York. I like water and coffee. I told my daughter not to give the dog a cup of coffee. And what does she do? She gave the dog coffee. Now I got a dead dog, a dumb daughter, and no coffee. No coffee. Thank you. Thank you. So, I think I have a bit of an accent. I tried going through my voicemails. I have a few for my mom. I have like one for my grandma, one for my other grandma. I wanted one from my dad because my roommate Andrea, who y'all have seen multiple times, she thinks he has such a heavy accent. And it's funny because growing up, so my mom's mom was born in Russia, and then when she was like 2 or 3, moved to Germany, and then when she was maybe like 20 or so, moved to New York. So my nanny has this like heavy Russian accent that I never noticed. And then one of my best friends was like in high school, oh, where is she from? I was like New York. Like when she's like, no, she has an accent. I was like, what are you talking about? I'll play some of a voicemail from her.
Hi, sweetie, that's Nani. Where are you? I want to wish you happy birthday. Nani say you're home. You met you.
You see how she goes, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I never heard that. Never heard that as an accent. I was just like, yeah, that's my nanny. Yep, she's from Brooklyn. She's actually from Russia. Anyways, besides the point. Besides the point. My dad, yeah, he's super heavy accent. Both my parents were born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, which I think is such a flex because then they just moved to New Jersey. So I got a lot of that culture growing up. Like we would always go to see the rest of my family, which I loved. Okay, as I keep saying, because I don't have any other examples, hopping right on into the slang. So, this is the first one. If I'm saying, let's get a pie, let's split a pie. More specifically, a plain pie. I'm talking about pizza. If I say, oh, can I have a plain pie? That is I don't even know what else you call it. Like, literally, what do you call an entire thing of pizza? Like, not just the slice, all of the slices together. It's a pizza pie. It's a pizza pie. You know what it, like, it doesn't make sense to me to call it anything else. So if I say I want a plain pie, I'm ordering a cheese pizza. Yeah, I guess that's it. Can I have a cheese pizza versus can I have a plain pie? So that's the first one, because also bagels and pizza are the best. My top foods: number one, pizza; number two, bagels; number three, pizza bagels. Because I was born and raised in New Jersey, and it is so good there. Number two, a sandwich. I call it a sub. Like, and I have a turkey sub. Other people call it a hoagie. I don't think sub is New Jersey slang. I think a hoagie is New Jersey slang. Furthermore, if you know what Wawa is, every time I say Wawa, I think I say it weird because there was one time when my sister was visiting in Tampa, and there were these guys, like, high school, college boys, whatever, and we were like in the car, and I swear this never happens to me, but we were talking to each other through the window. They're like, "Oh, where are y'all going?" No, 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 no. We're like, "Oh, we're going to Wawa," and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Wawa." He goes, "What?" And I was so now every time I say it, I'm like, "Am I not saying it right?" Wawa. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a 7-Eleven, like a convenient, like a it is a gas station with a little shop that they have something called Hoagie Fest. I'm assuming it's still a thing, but that's just, they call their sandwiches hoagies. So that was number two. This, I found out in college, my freshman year, first semester, my suite mate in the dorm, shout out Jen, was also from New Jersey. And it was like, "Oh, I'm in my bag. Oh, I'm in my duffel." Do you guys know what that means? If you say you're in your bag, that means that, like, you're upset. "Oh, I'm in my bag." It's like, and that was a realization that my other roommate and suite mate who were from Florida were like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "You've literally never heard of that? Like, I'm in my bag?" Because mind you, this was 2020. So I don't know if it was a more popular term 5 years ago, but whatever. It's not called, you don't say "I'm going to the beach," you say "I'm going down the shore." I think, like, that definitely is just a New Jersey thing, because when I go to the beach in Florida, I say "I'm going to the beach." I don't say "I'm going down the shore." But that's such a New Jersey, like, for the summer thing. "I'm going down the shore. Let's go down the shore." Um, Another saying is "it's brick out." Guess you would never really say that in Florida. If you say "it's brick out" or "it's brick," that means it's cold, like super duper cold. WTW, that means "what's the wave?" Another one that I'm not sure if that's everywhere, because I also know there's like WTM, which is "what's the move?" But part of me thinks that might be a New Jersey thing. "What's the wave?" And that's like if you text your friend, if you text in a group chat being like WTW, that's pretty much how you would say, like, "Oh, like, let's get into something tonight?" All right, mutts, specifically fresh mutts. That's just what I call mozzarella cheese. That sounds so foreign coming out of my mouth because I never say mozzarella. Mozzarella. And yeah, no, so you'll say mutts instead. "Oh, did you get the fresh mutts? Can I have mutts on that?" Like, things like that. All right, these are two, they're not curse words, but they're more like, so schmuck, which was so funny. I was just on vacation with my parents and my two siblings in the Bahamas. It was so much fun. But yeah, one of my parents said, oh, my mom said something being like, "Yeah, we're the only schmucks who are going to be there at 7 a.m." Because we were all going to play pickleball. So I think my mom was like, "Yeah, we're the only schmucks playing pickleball on vacation." And it pretty much just, like, it's so fun to say. And I think it's not like an actual curse word, but I'm pretty sure it is like a New York, maybe even more specifically Brooklyn origin. My parents are the only people I have ever heard say that word. You use it if there's like somebody cuts you off, or if somebody's like walking stupid in front of you. Like, it's kind of like an oath. Is that the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, it's kind of just being like, like, don't be a schmuck. Like, don't be a jerk off, which is the other word. There was definitely an accent behind that one. But that's the other term that's like a New Jersey thing, being like, "Oh, this jerk off." And that's the same thing I just described, like an idiot, pretty much. That's a fun one. I mean, I like those two. I kind of want to, like, Not that I want to have the reason to use those words more, but they're fun. All right, schmutz. I use this one if you got like a little like schmutz on your shirt. It's like a little like dirt, a stain. It's pretty much like a random little something. Like, oh, you got a little schmutz on your face. It's like you were just eating and there's just a little schmutz. I don't know. This reminded me of smorgasbord, which I actually didn't have on like my literal list because I looked it up and I think it said it was like Swedish or Scottish, something with an S. And it pretty much means, because my parents would use this, like if we're having dinner and it's just like all leftovers from the week, and you just like have like a little bit of meatloaf, a little bit of tacos, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a smorgasbord. Like it's a bunch of, or even like kind of like a potluck. If everybody brings something, you have like a smorgasbord. It's just like a bunch of food. So I'm like, one of those things, I don't know if just my family says that, but I looked it up and I couldn't find any connection to it being like New York, New Jersey slang. But honorable mention. All right, these are the few that I was like doing research for it because, as I said, I can't like a plain pie. I know that that's New Jersey slang, but like, what's the wave? I don't know if that is or not. So I was doing some research, asking ChatGPT, being like, what are some other things? So this is the ones that I found that I don't know if it's just a New Jersey thing. Number one, mad. So obviously that's a word. But if you're like, oh, it's mad hot out. Oh, it's mad cold in here. It's just context. It's just saying like, oh, it's really cold in here. But I don't know if people actually say that. Dead ass. So like, if somebody's like, they're like, do you want to go to the bar tonight? Dead ass. Like, it's just kind of being like, oh, are you serious? Are you for real? But it could be in a good way. It doesn't need to be like, because it also could be used if somebody's like, are you really going to wear that? And you're like, are you being dead ass right now? Like, it's like, are you seriously asking me that? This one I thought was really interesting. If you say, I'm going to wait online. Did anybody catch that? Apparently, it's a New Jersey thing to say you're online instead of saying you're in line, which I like that. I don't know. That one I found really interesting. And then buggin', like, oh, you're bugging. Oh, you're wildin'. That just means like you're crazy. Like if somebody says, if it's 20 degrees outside and somebody's like, oh, I'm going to go for a jog, you'd be like, you're bugging. Real quick, that's literally the point I'm making, real quick. And I'm hoping that y'all can like hear, reflecting back on previous episodes and even this one, that I do use some of this slang naturally. Not that I say bugging and stuff, but real quick, as in like, oh, like we're just gonna do this real quick. Or if you're like stopping somebody and you're like, hey, real quick. Y'all need to comment and let me know if this is just New Jersey. I so could have done this episode with a Florida native and then gotten their feedback. I kind of wanted to do it with my roommate because she's also from New Jersey, to confirm if she's heard of these, because also I'm Central Jersey, which is an honorable mention I was going to get to. A lot of people do not consider Central Jersey to be a thing. It's only North and South. But Middlesex County, according to our governor at some point, was like, Middlesex County classifies as Central Jersey. However, I am more north. How I break it up is you're north if you're closer to New York, you're south if you're closer to Philly. That's how it goes. Same thing mostly, that it's like, since I'm more northern, we're Yankees fans. Since my roommate's more southern, they're Phillies fans. I was gonna say Phillies because I know that's the team, but I was like, just mixed it up because I was gonna say, oh, being by Philly, they're Phillies fan. I don't know. It sounded weird for a second. Anyways, so the last, well, kind of the last one, OD. If you're like, that's OD. So I always thought OD meant overdose, as in like you're overdoing it. That's what OD stands for, overdoing. I thought it literally, I mean, it does, but like not in this not in the slang context of saying You know what I mean? Like if you like overdose on something, you did too much of it. If you're overdoing it, it's too much of it. So like either way it made sense, just like right idea but was not correct. So yeah, if you're like, "Oh, that's OD." It's just like that's too much. If you're at, let's say you're at basketball practice and coach is like, "Run 5 suicides." That's OD. I think I'm giving like great context for this and I love it. This is kind of the last slang word. Not really slang, kind of just like an accent thing. I say, oh, well, water. When people spell it out, it's like wooder, like WOOD hyphen ER, wooder. And when one of my old roommates used to make fun of me for it, she would be like, wooder. Like she'd say it like that. And I'm like, I don't think I say it that bad. Like, I definitely think my sister's worse now being in college at Boston. But if I'm like, oh, can I have a cup of water? Water. Like that sounded good. I don't know. Oh, but what I was saying is if I'm saying like tuh, like instead of two, it's tuh, I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go to the bank. Which I think you guys can definitely hear. I 100% do not say to unless I'm probably talking slowly and trying to be very articulate. If I'm just speaking fast and casually, I'm definitely going to be like, "Oh, let's go to the mall." You can't even hear it, you know what I mean? Okay. And then I had a little bonus. The two bonus pieces were number 1 being the whole Central Jersey thing. That's just like a little. And then something else, which I was actually shocked that a lot of people didn't know. Once again, a lot of my, not to say culture shock, but I, being born and raised in New Jersey, I didn't realize so much of this stuff was not statewide, like America wide, nationwide, hello. But yeah, did you guys know that it is illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey? Like you cannot, you have to be like a certified pump attendant or something like that. Because which I find crazy because I swear my dad did it once, but not in like the middle of the day. So what you do is you drive up to the gas station and there's attendants working there. You roll down your window, you go fill it up regular, give them your card. That's what I was taught to say. And then sometimes they'll ask for your zip code, but they literally put the card in. I don't know why they need the zip code. I guess it asks there. And then they'll put the pump in and then do the thing where like you press the pump and then like it holds and then they'll just leave it there if you're doing filler up and then go to a different one and then come back, take the pump out, close your lid, give it to you, and then you just drive on off. Which I'm sure sounds so foreign, but when I say I did not, I got my license when I was 17, but first time I pumped gas was in Florida. My roommate Maze was letting me borrow her car during college. Literally pulled up to a gas station and I went, no, I pulled up to a gas station and I parked like in front of the little store. Like I wasn't at a pump. I parked at the store. And I walked in and I was like, can I get gas? And he's like, "Okay, what pump are you on?" And I was like, "I'm not on a pump. I'm just like parked right there." And he was like, "Okay, well, go to a pump because if you put the money in and somebody pulls up, like they could just take it." And I was like, "Oh, true, true." And then I parked the car there, went back in, and I was like, okay, I'm on this pump. He was like, okay. Finished that transaction, got there, opened it. You know what my next battle was? What gas do I put in this car? So I called my roommate, being like, hey, there's like 4 options here. Which one do I press? And she was like, do that one. And I was like, oh, okay. Literally, to this day, I still like kind of second guess which gas I have to get because I know it's a huge deal if you do the wrong one. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my first time pumping gas story. This was probably sophomore or junior year of college. So, and then I don't know, this was such like a fun slang episode, but I like low key a little bit. Just want to talk about how I said how I'm thinking about moving home. So I live in Tampa with my roommate now. I love it. Me and her both knew forever. We were like, when we graduate, we're not moving back home. We're going to go somewhere else, which like so blessed. It's a privilege to have been able to do that, to have the support for all of that. However, having been here now for like 14 months, I believe, in September. So my lease ends in September, and they needed to know, technically, I think they wanted to know today, but technically to the date they were asking for, 60 days before move out, is like Wednesday or something. So literally my roommate got a job in Orlando. Proud of her, very good for her. She loves the job, like love it for her. Unfortunate for me because I wanted to resign with her. Now, I joined Facebook groups. I know that it's possible for me to find a roommate. However, what I've been struggling with, kind of financially, like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm financially struggling. But the thing is, I'll get paid and then I immediately am putting that towards my credit card statement, towards rent, towards the electricity bill, towards my student loans. Like I'm getting money, but I'm not like saving anything. I immediately need to spit it back out somewhere. And my parents, as I said, they still live in New Jersey with my grandma lives with us too. And my parents are very much like, if you want to come home, you are more than welcomed. We will make arrangements. We'll help you get down here. My dad's saying he'll help me find a job. Like, they'll feed me. My mom was like, the one caveat is that you'll have to cook once a week. And I was like, fine by me because I want to learn how to cook anyway. So I'm like, this is perfect. So, but as I said, I have not lived at home since my senior year of high school. And I don't want to say like I was miserable at home, but like I loved moving out and going to college a million times more and living with like my girlfriends. So like I love my parents, but I was in a situation, and once again I was like 18, you know what I mean? Like 18 versus 22. I've grown a lot since then, but at the same time, like it's kind of, I don't know, I was like stressed being at home. I don't know what it is. I just love the freedom of being able to, like, not that my parents are not strict by any means. Like my mom, literally, we talked about this on vacation and she goes, you could stay out as late as you want, you could sleep out, you can go out whenever you want. I literally just asked for a text letting me know. If I think that you're coming home at 1 a.m. and you don't text me until 4 a.m. that you're coming home, I'm going to be upset because my mom's an anxious person and she's just like, I'm worried about you, which I completely respect, completely understand. And I agreed to that. I was like, it is not hard because I would do the same thing if I had a boyfriend, being like, I'm not going to ghost him for 4 hours, not letting him know that I'm not going to be coming home. You know what I mean? So I'm like, for that to be the one thing she's asking of me, no problem. And I'll be working, like, I'll wake up, work 9 to 5, go to the gym, eat dinner, and then go in my room and do my podcast stuff, my TikTok stuff, go to sleep, wake up the next day. So it's like, how is that much different than how I'm in my room here, just like by myself, doing my TikTok stuff, doing my podcast stuff? Like, I can do that at home. And to get, I don't know, a little bit of the base financials, our rent is like, I'm paying about like 1,000 a month for rent alone. And how I said I've been here for about just rent, not classifying groceries, not classifying our electric, utility, none of that stuff. How I said I'm here for 14 months, that is $14,000 that I could have had in my pocket if I would have lived at home for the past year. And that's my main thing, that it's like, is everything that I've gotten here worth $14,000? And here's another issue. I'm not the best with money. I'm like, I have such this mentality that it comes and it goes. Like it just flows in and out, and it is what it is. And I'm not to say I'm never lacking, but I've never been in such an awful situation that it was like, you know what I mean? Like whenever I'm in need of money, it always finds its way back. So, long story short, just kind of, this is to be completely transparent where I'm at with it. I'm gonna tell the leasing office that I'm not re-signing in this apartment because I don't have another roommate committed to live here in 2 months. And the worst possible thing that could happen is that I do not find a roommate and then I'm stuck paying $2,000 a month for this apartment for the foreseeable future, which I cannot do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to tell them I won't live here. One of my friends, Zoe, shout out Zoe, said that where she shout out so is that she goes, the company that she works for, she's like in hospitality. She goes, it's either, I think she said St. Pete slash Clearwater. So probably both of them, which if you don't know Florida geography, those are like how I'm in Tampa, West Tampa specifically. Clearwater's like, honestly, Clearwater's like 50 minutes. St. Pete's like 40 minutes, maybe. I'm in a great location, by the way. And I just love Florida. But, anyways, she goes, you can get, they'll house you and you just pay like $600. Immediately, that's like half my rent. And I'll be working for them. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. But I am like, the more I was talking to my parents, and like, they sound like they're real. Like, my dad sounds like he's super happy to like have me back in the house. Cause as I've said, I've not been home since I was 17. I'm 22 now. And I also have a much better relationship with both of my parents than I did when I was in high school. Not to be like I was a brat in high school, but I was trouble. I still kind of am a little trouble, but like a safer amount, a more tolerable amount for my parents, hopefully. So that's all of that. Long story short, in mid-September, I most likely am going to be back in New Jersey. And this is another fun part. For literally, I remember sophomore year of high school, we were like, it was college and career planning, this half year course, and I was like planning my future, and I was like, I want to marry a nice Italian man and have like 6 kids, and they're going to be named like Valentina, Antonio, like just super Italian family. Which I'm still like, because I love the idea of having like, wait, I literally just like lost the words I was going to say. Bilingual. I literally was going to say bisexual. That's not what I meant. I want to have bilingual kids because I think it's the coolest thing to be able to speak more than one language. Also, if y'all haven't been like outside of the country, most other countries, they, especially in Europe, they all speak 2+ languages. So I'm really lacking. And I know like a good amount of Italian in my opinion, so I just need, like, would love to get into that culture. And oh, wait, let me wrap up that thought. Sorry. And then I'll wrap up the episode because we are at 30 minutes. And I know this part was kind of more of a just me being like, do I do this? Do I do that? Just like talking through it as opposed to the whole fun slang part at the beginning. Would you guys be able to date somebody in the mafia? Because so John Wick is my favorite movie. Watched the second one on the like literally yesterday on my first flight. Then I started the third one on my second flight. 30 minutes left in the movie, and I can't watch it for free anywhere, and I don't have Peacock. So if any of you sexies want to give me your login, really would appreciate that. But in there, it's so like undercover. Like everybody is so secretive. There's this entire life of all these assassins, and they have their own little code and currency. And it's like, is that really happening amongst us? But my point being, because I am a little crazy, I can't imagine though, like, even though that would be, I mean, probably not to be like it would be fun to date somebody in the mafia because that would be scary, because they're probably like in trouble, but also like rich and like connected. But they can't tell you everything. So if my man's like out super late and I'm like, who are you with? What were you doing? Oh, nobody. Oh, I can't tell you. How do I know that you're not? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's more of just like a fun idea that I wanted to know if other people had that thought, being like, would you be able to date a mafioso? Because it's like they have to be so secretive. Would you be? That's the same thing with like CIA, honestly. FBI, like top secret type things that it's like, oh, I can't tell you about it. But it's like, how do you know? This is just the trust issues coming through. Like you must have a good man. Yeah, and if you're secure in that, all right, guys, I'm going on and on and on and on and on. But I think I got through everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As I start every episode, I'm always like, all right, this is something fun, something different, but I've never done a list like that. So to wrap it up, leave a comment first leave a comment if you knew I was from New Jersey, / you could have guessed that, / I don't seem like I'm from Florida. Furthermore, let me know if any of these are like not New Jersey slang, anything I said at the beginning, if you're like, everybody talks like that. And anything else you want to say. So, socials are linked below. Please let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and anything else you want to see. And as always, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening and watching. And thank you for everything, actually. Bye, sexies.